You are not here by accident. You were never meant to blend in, to shrink, or to be overlooked. You carry something rare, something undeniable. From the moment you took your first breath, there were forces that recognized your power before you even did. They saw the weight of your destiny, the fire in your spirit, the authority woven into your very existence, and because of that, they have tried again and again to rewrite your story, to suppress your rise, to make you doubt what has already been decreed over your life. But let me tell you something. They cannot steal what was never theirs to take. Every attempt to hold you back, to derail your path, is proof of the magnitude of your purpose. The greater the resistance, the greater the calling. And you are walking proof that no scheme, no opposition, no shadowed force can override what has been divinely set in motion. This is not the end of your story. This is your rise. The leader within you is awakening, and nothing can stand in the way of what is already written. There is nothing accidental about the attempts to sever your connection to the force that set you on this path. Each obstacle is a calculated move, a precise effort to disrupt the rhythm of your ascension. Yet, no matter how intricately woven, their plans unravel against the impenetrable barrier surrounding you. This is not a fragile defense crafted from fleeting wishes or uncertain hope. It is a force, steady and unyielding, moving with the same certainty as the tide that shapes the shore. It does not fracture under pressure, nor can it be undone by the hands that seek to distort your journey. Every attempt to siphon what rightfully belongs to you ricochets back with a power beyond their understanding, scattering their intentions before they can take root. It is no accident that their efforts dissolve. It is the inevitable outcome of forces they cannot override. That which has been forged with purpose cannot be unmade by those unworthy to wield it, nor can the essence of what you carry be imitated or stolen. What they seek lies far beyond their grasp, locked within you, beyond the reach of interference, shielded by a truth they are powerless to alter. Since they cannot take from you what is bound to your essence, they pivot to sabotage. The realization that your path is beyond their reach drives them to disorder, hoping that confusion will dull your clarity and make you forget the inevitability of your rise. Financial burdens appear like shifting ground beneath your feet, not as random misfortunes, but as deliberate tremors meant to destabilize you, to make you question whether you are meant to reach the heights awaiting you. They manipulate circumstances to cast shadows over your perseverance, twisting every effort into a test of endurance. Bonds fracture with no apparent cause, leaving gaps where strength and support once stood. This is no coincidence. It is a measured effort to isolate, to drown out the voices that remind you of your purpose. Doubt is planted like a slow-spreading poison, its only aim to corrode the foundations that keep you steady. Even your own body becomes a battleground, unexpected exhaustion creeping in like a storm cloud, whispering falsehoods of weakness and limitation. But these trials are not proof of failure. They are the desperate acts of those who cannot rewrite what has already been inscribed. Every challenge is intentional, designed to drain the fire that propels forward motion. Yet, these barriers hold no permanence. They are mere shadows cast to distort perception, not to dismantle the foundation of purpose. Those who orchestrate these trials fail to grasp the essence of endurance. Setbacks do not signify surrender, nor does resistance equate to defeat. Each challenge refines rather than diminishes, sharpening resolve instead of erasing it. The strength to rise is not bestowed lightly. It is embedded, unshaken by interference. Their schemes are not born of ignorance, but fear, for they recognize the magnitude of untapped potential. The prime years, when vision, strength, and ambition align, carry the power to shape realities. This is where the greatest disruptions arise, aimed at derailing momentum before it carves its mark into existence. But their interference cannot diminish what is already written. It can only confirm its inevitability. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment, you shall condemn. Isaiah 54:17. There's an old saying, a ship doesn't sink because of the water around it. It sinks because of the water that gets inside it. That's exactly how the enemy works. The attacks, the setbacks, the doubts, they can't destroy you from the outside. But if you let them in, if you start believing the lies, if you let fear settle in your spirit, that's when they win. The truth is, you are not trapped. You are not at the mercy of circumstances, of delays, of distractions. What's coming against you is strategic, designed to wear you down and drain your faith. But let me tell you something. They can slow you, but they cannot stop you. Their tactics are calculated, subtle, like a slow leak in a tire. They don't always come as obvious attacks. No, they show up in distractions, in confusion, in a heaviness that makes you question yourself. They come disguised as obstacles that make progress feel impossible, as whispers that tell you you're not strong enough, not ready enough, not worthy enough. They weave illusions, crafting scenarios where success seems always just out of reach, like chasing the horizon but never quite touching it. But here's the key. A mirage is not real. What they are showing you is an illusion, a false picture meant to manipulate your perception of reality. Because the truth is, you already have what you need. You already carry the authority to dismantle every single attack. The only thing they can do is try to convince you otherwise. Declare it now. I am unstoppable. Say it like you mean it. Say it until every lie, every doubt, every fear bows to the authority of the truth inside you. Because let me tell you something, their influence only reaches as far as your belief allows it. If you believe you're trapped, you'll act like you're trapped. If you believe you're stuck, you'll stop moving. But the second you recognize that their weapons have no real power, they lose. The interference may be loud, but it is not final. God's voice has never stopped speaking over your life. The signal may flicker, but it has never been cut off. The vision may feel distant, but it has never been out of reach. You are still in alignment. You are still chosen. And what is meant for you is still waiting. So let them plot, let them whisper, let them try to delay what cannot be stopped. Because at the end of the day, they have no say in how this story ends. This is your season to move, to reclaim, to walk boldly in what was always yours, and nothing can change that. Clarity is not a passive state. It is an active force, a weapon against the unseen barriers designed to scatter focus and erode determination. Disruptions are not arbitrary. They are tactical, engineered to siphon strength and replace certainty with hesitation. Some burdens weigh more than the body can carry, pressing down on spirit and will alike, making even the simplest steps feel impossible. This is not just exhaustion. It is a slow erosion of the energy required to fulfill what has been set in motion. The fog of uncertainty creeps in, turning instinct into indecision, making choices feel like labyrinths with no exits. These are not harmless moments of doubt. They are intentional roadblocks, placed to stall progress and sever momentum. Just as resolve strengthens, delays rise like shifting sands beneath steady feet, forcing constant recalibration. Doors that once seemed open slam shut without warning. Plans unravel at the seams, and the rhythm of movement is thrown into disarray. But stagnation is not failure. It is merely a test of endurance, one that, when passed, only solidifies what cannot be undone. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. A traveler lost in the wilderness isn't doomed because of the darkness. It's the lack of a map that makes the journey treacherous. You can have the strength to walk, the endurance to push forward, but without direction, you'll keep circling the same terrain, mistaking movement for progress. That's how the enemy works, not by placing walls in your path, but by keeping you blind to the doors that are already open. Knowledge is your armor. It's what shields you from deception, what keeps you grounded when confusion tries to sweep you off course. Without it, life becomes a cycle of frustration, walking, working, striving, but never quite reaching. Patterns repeat, dressed in different disguises, but leading to the same dead ends. That job that looks like a fresh opportunity, it's just another version of the last one that drained you. That relationship that feels like a new beginning, it carries the same dysfunction you walked away from. Nothing changes until understanding steps in and reveals what has been hidden. The greatest weapon the enemy has is not destruction, it is misdirection. If he can keep you chasing illusions, running in circles, focusing on what looks like purpose but leads nowhere, then he doesn't have to stop you, because you'll stop yourself. Listen, opportunity doesn't disappear. Your destiny hasn't been stolen. It's still there, waiting for you to see it. But when your vision is clouded, when you don't have the wisdom to discern the right path, you walk right past the blessings that have your name on them. And that's the enemy's strategy, to keep you unaware, to distort truth until even your own intuition feels unreliable. That's why knowledge is more than power. It is protection. It is what keeps you from being led astray, from investing your energy into battles that aren't yours to fight, from wasting years in cycles that were never meant for you. When you have wisdom, you move differently. You don't just react, you respond with precision. You don't just step, you step with purpose. And here's the key. Wisdom doesn't come from the world. It comes from alignment. You cannot rely on external voices to guide you, because not everyone speaking into your life is sent to help you. Some voices are sent to confuse, to plant doubt, to pull you in directions that drain you. You must learn to discern, to recognize what is truth and what is distraction, to silence the noise and hear the guidance that has been there all along. Because once you see clearly, you cannot be deceived. Once you understand, you cannot be manipulated. And once you step into true wisdom, no force, no lie, no delay, no interference can stop you from stepping fully into what was always meant for you. So sharpen your mind, strengthen your discernment, equip yourself with knowledge, and watch as everything that once confused you suddenly makes sense. Awareness is a force that dismantles illusions, a beacon that cuts through deception and restores rightful power. The moment the mind commits to expansion, to deepening understanding, the entire dynamic shifts. Insight becomes a shield, discernment a sharpened blade. No longer swayed by misleading narratives, perception sharpens, revealing the intricate patterns shaping destiny. Illusions fall away, exposing the truth of innate strength, purpose, and direction. Uncertainty dissolves, and hesitation transforms into unwavering confidence. With clarity, Paths once obscured become unmistakable, and decisions that once felt impossible are made with certainty. When the mechanics of obstruction are understood, they lose their grip, stripped of the secrecy they rely upon. Every realization is an act of rebellion against manipulation. Every revelation, a fracture in the barriers once used to contain potential. What once felt like relentless opposition is exposed as nothing more than fragile distractions incapable of standing against unshaken knowledge. No challenge endures when its design is understood. Awareness does not just protect, it dismantles, allowing movement where stagnation once ruled. Clarity is the end of submission and the beginning of sovereignty. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. There's a story in the book of Job of a man who lost everything, stripped of his wealth, his health, his family. It looked like the end. But what did God do? He didn't just give Job back what was stolen. He restored him double. That's the kind of God we serve. A God of restoration. A God who sees every battle you've fought, every tear you've shed, every delay, every loss, and says, "Watch what I do next." See, there are forces that have tried to keep you from your destiny. They have thrown obstacles in your path, whispered lies in your ear, sent distractions to slow you down. But let me tell you something. Their grip is broken. They no longer hold the pen to your story. Control has shifted back into the hands of its rightful owner, you. But restoration is not passive. It's not something you wait around for like a check in the mail. No, restoration is an act of war against everything that tried to break you. It's taking back what was stolen with the authority you were born to carry. It's standing up and declaring, "I am not what I lost. I am greater than what tried to destroy me, and I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." The road to restoration requires deliberate action. This isn't about hoping things get better, it's about making them better. You must recalibrate, shake off the distortions that have clouded your vision, and step boldly into the path set before you. Clarity isn't something that just arrives one day. It's built through intentional practice. The more you align yourself with purpose, the clearer the road becomes. Let me tell you something. Your gifts are not random. They are not just talents or interests. They are weapons. They were given to you as divine tools, crafted with precision, designed to protect, guide, and elevate you. And when you step into mastery, when you sharpen your skills, when you truly own who you were created to be, nothing can stop you. No deception can take root. No interference can stand. Discernment becomes your strongest ally, a force that exposes hidden traps before they have the chance to ensnare you. No longer will you be fooled by distractions masquerading as opportunities. No longer will confusion keep you frozen in place. When your mind is sharpened, when your spirit is alert, when your steps are ordered, you walk with confidence. And the things that once slowed you down, they scatter. But here's the key. Knowledge without action is powerless. Wisdom alone won't get you there. It must be paired with movement. Restoration is not just about reclaiming what was lost. It's about rising higher than before. What once belonged to you will return, but not in the same measure. Greater, multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And hear me when I say this. The delay is over. What was meant for you will no longer be withheld. What once seemed far off is now within reach. The season of waiting has ended. The season of acceleration has begun. So walk boldly, stand tall, reclaim what is yours. The battle has already been decided, and you are walking in victory. There was a time when progress felt like a mirage. Every step forward led to an abrupt halt, as if unseen hands were pulling the ground from beneath me. Promising opportunities unraveled without warning, leaving behind frustration and unanswered questions. The weight of disappointment grew heavier, making even the simplest actions feel exhausting. Doubt crept in like an uninvited guest, whispering that perhaps I had misread my path, that maybe I was chasing something never meant to be mine. But then, something shifted. Instead of looking outward for explanations, I turned inward. My words transformed from scattered pleas to intentional declarations, my focus sharpening like never before. Slowly, the fog began to clear. The patterns of guidance I once overlooked became visible, revealing that even in what seemed like silence, a path had always been unfolding. And then, the impossible unfolded before me. Doors I thought had permanently shut cracked open again, not as they once were, but in a form far greater than I had imagined. What once felt like rejection had been preparation, aligning every detail for a moment I was finally ready to receive. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Habakkuk 2:3. There's a reason a farmer doesn't dig up his seeds just because he doesn't see sprouts the next morning. He knows the process. He understands that beneath the soil, something powerful is happening, even when it looks like nothing at all. Your breakthrough is the same way. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean nothing is shifting. Delays are not denials. They are preparations. If it feels like you're stuck, like your prayers are bouncing off the walls, like everything you touch keeps slipping through your fingers, let me tell you something. The pause is not punishment, it is positioning. The pressure you feel, it's not to crush you, it's to shape you. You are being molded, refined, strengthened for the very thing you've been asking for. But resistance is real. It is calculated. The battles you face are not random. They are targeted strikes against your purpose. The moment you start to rise, to step into your calling, to break generational patterns, opposition appears. It comes in disguise. Exhaustion that shows up just when you're gaining momentum. Health struggles that sap your energy. Unexpected expenses that drain your resources. Opportunities that seem to slip through your grasp at the last second. These are not coincidences. They are engineered distractions, designed to break your focus and shake your confidence. But hear me when I say this. They cannot stop what God has already set in motion. The enemy's greatest tactic isn't destruction, it's delay. If he can't take what's meant for you, he'll try to slow you down, wear you out, and convince you to walk away from it yourself. He will plant doubt, whisper that maybe you heard wrong, maybe it's not meant for you, maybe you should settle. But that is a lie. What is written over your life cannot be erased. What is yours, and restoration is coming. The relationships that fractured, the trust that was broken, the opportunities that seemed to vanish, they are not gone. They are being aligned. What was stolen will be returned. What was delayed will be accelerated. What felt lost forever is already making its way back to you, but stronger, greater, more powerful than before. But here's the key. You must keep moving. Stagnation is the real enemy. When you stop, when you give up, when you settle for less, you step out of position. And let me tell you something. Your promise is coming, whether you're ready or not. Get prepared. Align yourself. Stay rooted in faith, in action, in perseverance. Because when it comes, and it will come, you want to be in the right place to receive it. So lift your head. Keep going. Your delay is ending. Your breakthrough isn't just coming, it's already in motion. And nothing can stand in its way. Disruptions do not appear by chance. They are signals of a deeper conflict playing out beyond what the eyes can see. The forces working against progress do not scatter their efforts aimlessly. They strike where it matters most, targeting the foundation that sustains strength and purpose. Recognizing these patterns shifts the balance of power. Awareness transforms uncertainty into strategy, allowing counteraction instead of reaction. There is no helplessness in knowledge, only preparation, only the ability to dismantle what was meant to confine. Mastery over these unseen battles begins with unwavering discipline. A structured spiritual foundation is not just beneficial, it is essential. Speaking with intention recalibrates focus, severing ties to doubt. Refining clarity through moments of deep reflection removes the noise, making way for precision. Removing distractions strengthens the ability to discern interference before it takes root. The environment is not passive, it responds to alignment, bending to the frequency of intention. When movement is in sync with higher purpose, obstacles once thought insurmountable dissolve, and what was unclear suddenly becomes evident. The right doors do not open by force, they respond to the timing of certainty. This alignment does more than shield, it strengthens, turning setbacks into stepping stones toward an unshakable destiny. Opposition cannot endure where clarity reigns. When perception is sharpened, every deception unravels, every falsehood collapses. With each deliberate step taken in alignment, the hold of interference weakens, its power fading like mist under the rising sun. No attempt to distort purpose succeeds when awareness is intact. Their efforts are not greater than the path already established, nor can they dismantle what was set in motion before their interference began. The weight of divine intention is beyond their reach, beyond their manipulation. Delays are an illusion, designed to provoke frustration, but what is destined cannot be erased. It can only be refined. The waiting is not in vain. It is a preparation, a sharpening, a molding into what is required to carry the vision forward. Nothing orchestrated to hinder can overwrite what is already written. Even when resistance rises, it is not final. Their reach is limited, confined within boundaries they cannot surpass. No force can rewrite what was never theirs to control. The brilliance within cannot be dimmed, no matter how fiercely opposition rises. Light is not bound by darkness. It cuts through, relentless and unwavering. Delays may stretch time, but they hold no power to erase what is destined. The journey is not one of mere survival, but of restoration beyond comprehension. What was lost is not simply returned, it is amplified, redefined, and made greater than before. Time itself bends under the weight of divine intention, propelling forward what once seemed unreachable. The years that felt empty, the moments stolen, are not forgotten. They are woven into a redemption far greater than the loss ever was. What seemed to drift away was not abandonment, but preparation, aligning every detail for an outcome that exceeds every expectation. Walking in power is not an option, it is a necessity. Purpose is not something to shrink from or doubt. Every hardship endured was not a weight to break, but a fire to refine. Lessons were carved into each moment of resistance, forging an unshakable foundation. The strength within is not passive, it is a force, unwavering and undeniable. No imitation exists for what is carried within. Its uniqueness cannot be replicated, nor can it be diminished. Every attempt to silence or suppress has only served to sharpen resilience, solidifying the path forward. The battle was never meant to consume, but to prepare. The time for hesitation has ended. This is the moment to move boldly, to step fully into the power that was always meant to be claimed. What was taken will not only return, but will come multiplied, carrying a momentum that cannot be resisted. The impact of this rise will be undeniable, stretching beyond what was once imagined. Nothing about this journey is accidental. Every obstacle faced was an initiation into deeper strength, every delay a refining fire. Opposition never had the power to erase what was already set in motion. The attempts to derail were nothing more than futile efforts against a force that cannot be stopped. Now, the time has come to reclaim everything that was once withheld. Every dream, every breakthrough, every moment that was thought to be lost. This is not just a return, it is an ascension. Standing tall in victory is not a distant hope. It is a certainty. What once seemed unreachable is now within grasp, not because of luck, but because perseverance made it so. The past does not define this rise. Purpose does. And with that purpose comes an undeniable force, one that refuses to be overlooked or silenced. The impact of this moment is not just personal, it is a testament, a reminder that resilience does not just endure, it conquers.